Today, I want to talk about a new product that just came out. Well, actually, the Kickstarter started actually over a year ago, but it just came in the mail a few days ago, and I'm really excited to use it. Hot Pocket from Sierra Madre Design. This thing is cool, man. It is a warming stuff sack. So you can put your gown in here, you can put your clothes in here, and you can warm them up. So like I mentioned, the Hot Pocket came onto Kickstarter maybe a year and a half ago, and I saw it, and I had just gotten back from this incredibly cold camping trip. I think it was in the 20s, and I saw this thing that said it was a backcountry furnace, and I was like, I need that. I have done a few minor tests with it to see, I've stuffed it full of insulation and heated it up to see how well it would heat the insulation. And the thing with insulation is it's insulative. So what ended up kind of happening is the parts of the insulation that were touching the heating elements were warm, but like the insides of it were not warm. Like in my mind, when I bought it, I was like, oh, well, I can stuff my blankets in there and stuff like that and warm them up right before bed and then, hop into this nice, comfy, warm thing. But I actually see this being more as like, you make your bed, your camping bed, and then, for me, I hammock camp. So I see it more as hopping into my hammock and putting this thing, on my chest or something like that in between me and the top quilt, and kind of warming things up real quick, because that initial like shock to the system when you get in there. I see this as being like a booster drive to kind of get everything warm as quick as possible. And then also, those late nights when you wake up in the middle of the night and you're kind of chilly, you can just turn this thing on real quick. It heats up pretty fast. And it has two settings. It has kind of like a low setting that you can run until the battery dies, and then it has like there's a name for it, and it's escaping my mind, but it's kind of like the higher setting where it gets really hot for a short period of time, and that's kind of on a self timer, and it'll shut itself off. Cannot wait for a cold weather trip so that I can take this out. I might even just go out for an overnighter just to use this thing and see what it can do. So in terms of build quality, just like all of Sierra Madre's products, it is made extremely well. All the stitching is great. All the innards are great. The battery pack is great. Everything is made really well. I see this thing lasting a long time, as long as I don't screw it up. So the Hot Pocket comes in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. I did go with the large size, and it is this big. It's a pretty big bag when you think about it. It's a pretty big stuff sack. And like I said, when I initially purchased this, I envisioned my sleep system going in this and staying nice and comfy and cozy and warm. Now that I have it and I've used it, I feel like I probably would use it more for like clothes, and maybe like right before bed, like throw my clothes in here that I'm going to sleep in and then warm them up real quick and put them on. Even if we're just like hanging out at camp, you can just throw like a couple items, your socks, your gloves, a hat, something like that in here. And the other cool thing is when it's on, you can kind of like, you can snuggle with it like this, and it'll keep you nice and warm. So yeah, it's pretty big. Right now, in here, I have a 10-degree top quilt and a 20-degree underquilt, and there's room to spare. I could definitely fit probably my 10-degree top quilt and a 0-degree underquilt. I think it's rated for a 0-degree underquilt and a 0-degree top quilt. I would say if you are just, if you sleep in a tent, I would probably go with like a small or medium if you wanted to just stuff a sleeping bag or some clothes in here. This is a very big bag. It's pretty big. I opted to get the extra straps here so that you could make it into like a day pack almost. And it's pretty cool. These straps are completely removable, but you can throw this thing on like this. There you go. And now you have a little day pack, and you could wear it on your back, and you could even turn this thing on while you're hiking if you want to be warm. I mean, I suppose you could like flip it around and put it on your chest and make your chest warm too, but it's pretty lightweight. I'll show some weights in a little bit of how much this thing weighs empty and with the straps and with the battery pack. So for me, I don't really know when I'm going to use this as a backpack per se, but I just bought the straps because I'm sure there's going to come a time one day when we're out with the kids or just out day hiking, and this would be perfect to, you know, throw a blanket in here or your sweatshirts or whatever and just keep them warm throughout the day. So here is the battery pack. This is the UL version of the battery pack. They have a bigger one called the XL, of course, but it's pretty cool. I went with the smaller one because originally this is what they had, and then throughout the backing they came out with the XL version, but it is much larger. It's about double larger, like that. But I didn't see this as being something that I'm going to use to heat myself all night long. You know, if I'm in a position where I need it to heat me all night long, I'm probably in a situation where I'm in the wrong situation. I just wanted something so that I could, you know, heat myself for, you know, 20, 30 minutes or an hour, or a couple hours or something like that at most, to kind of like get me through a tough spot, or to, you know, like I said, warm up some clothes or something like that. So I think this battery pack will last on the standard setting for about 3 hours, I think is what it said. I haven't really put it to the test yet and timed that myself, but you know, I'm interested to see how well this works and how long this lasts. And in my mind, I want to try to charge this with another battery pack that I have already, so that I can bring a bigger battery pack that I would use for my phone and that kind of stuff, to charge this as well. You can use this to charge a phone. So if you only wanted to bring this, you totally could. But in my mind, if you're heating it, this is going to drain out pretty quickly, and then you're going to be left with a dead phone, and then you're going to be cold. So I don't know if you'd want to do that. But the battery pack itself is useful. So on here, you can see you have 2 ports. One, let me make sure I'm right, one of which is the high E port here. So this is where you charge this battery pack from. And this is where you would heat everything from. And then this one is where you would plug in like other devices. So you could plug in your phone here, or your headlamp, or whatever into here. And then you have this little button in the middle here, and you can hold this down. So you got to turn it on. One click turns it on. Good to go. And then check this out. It has a flashlight on it. Hold that down. Flashlight. There's a pocket within the Hot Pocket, and that's where you plug 2 cables that are labeled high E, and there's one that's not labeled, and those plug in respectively to this. And then on the bottom of your Hot Pocket here, you actually have your power button here, and then you have this little guy, which is an exterior port, so you can plug in your phone or whatever into that directly on the outside. So if for whatever reason, you know, you're using this inside your pack and you want to get to it, you know, you can just plug your phone into that and then charge whatever you need. Or if you're out and about, you got an external charger right there. So to remove the backpack straps here, you just simply unsnap from the top, and you unsnap from the bottom. Let me see if I can show you. Unsnap it here from the bottom, and then you're free. And then you have this strappy-doo on the bottom and this clippy-doo on the top. And you just do the same thing both sides. Unstrap that and unclip on the bottom. And then you're just left with 2 straps here. and your empty bag, or your strapless bag. So the thing you can do with this when you're using it as not a backpack is it's just a compression sack. So, you know, you put all your down in there, and it has a cinch on the top here, and you can stuff that down. Let me see if I can do this and not screw it up. I'm gonna stuff it in there. Stuffing. So now, what you do, you cinch down that top and then roll it down just like you would any other dry bag. And then you clip that top clip with that bottom strap, and now you have a compression strap that you can pull and compress this thing down. You know, it's not really that much smaller, but it's a little bit more compact. But this is probably how I would use it most often. You know, if I was backpacking with this thing or bike packing with this is how I would use it. So another cool feature that the Hot Pocket can do, I didn't even know it could do this when I bought it, is it can be an underquilt for your chair. So you can have a heated underquilt on your camp chair. Isn't that's pretty awesome? You would have to bring the shoulder straps, because that's kind of how it attaches around the chair. It kind of straps under and then around the top. But I guess you could also put stuff in there if you wanted to, and like heat your clothes and then sit and camp. So the Hot Pocket has a zipper that runs all the way around it. You can see that zipper. What you can do with that is you can open one end here and the other end down here and stick your hands through like this, and now you have a big old hand warmer. So you can sit and snuggle, put your gloves in there, and you could even zip that up tighter around your hands and put those in there. I suppose you could put feet in there if you wanted to, but you know, if you're gonna do that, you might as well just completely unzip it, and then essentially you have this bigger heating surface that you can lay on you. You can lay it on your legs, you know, when you're sitting around at camp. But I see this being something that you could, you know, put this on your chest while you're sleeping, and this will cover this. The large version covers from my neck to kind of past my waist here. If you wear it like this, that's what you would get. If you put it down to your waist, it covers your legs almost all the way to my legs, and I'm about 6'1". So here we're going to look at how to install the battery into the Hot Pocket. So down here at the bottom, next to the power button that I showed you earlier, there's this little zipper pocket here. You open that up, and in you will find two cables. One has the labeling. Let me see if I can do this. So this one says high E on the cable. This one has nothing. So your high E cable goes into your high E port, just like that. And then the other cable would go into that port. So you can heat and charge something externally with this, but it will diminish the battery obviously faster. So when you're done, turn it on. Make sure you get the blinking lights, or the 4 lights here. Stuff it back into its little pocket, zip it up, and then you're ready to go. You just hold and press the button, and then it's on. Blue is the standard setting, and red is the higher setting. So you can just press it, blue or red, and you're good to go. And it'll heat up pretty quickly. Now for the moment of truth. We're going to weigh everything. First, I'm going to weigh the battery pack here. This is, again, the UL version of the battery pack. We have 9.59 ounces. Your pair of straps here, 2.61 ounces. The Hot Pocket itself, again, this is the large version of the Hot Pocket, is 9.84 ounces. So the whole package together, the large Hot Pocket, the UL battery, and the straps, weighs a total of 22.08 ounces, or 626 grams, or 1.38 pounds. So it's definitely not light, but you would have to decide on if it's worth it to carry that extra 1.4 pounds total for this whole package. In my opinion, if it's cold enough, why not? You know, it would be worth it to be warm than to be cold, in my opinion.